And always says,
hope to see you soon.
WHOW is Central Illinois' ag station, and that includes providing farmers information on how the commodity markets close each day and week. I'm Todd Gleason from Illinois Public Media, University of Illinois Extension, inviting you to hear the daily closing market report weekday afternoons at 5:06, and on Saturdays, tune in for Commodity Week with a review of the week's markets at 8:30 in the morning, all on WHOW, AM, FM, and streamed online.
Here's Matt Hart, owner of the Hart Media Group in Clinton, talking about living up to the company's tagline of connecting people.
Whether it's on our AM, our FM, our video, our social media, our camera, that we got here in studio, it's all about local people and telling those local stories. We're really excited to be doing that. We're excited to be adding some new components to this.
Hart purchased the Miller Media Group in August 2025 and looks forward to serving DeWitt County and Central Illinois for years to come.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead. Hi, Joey. How are you? Good. Thanks for coming out. Second time this week I've seen you.
I know. Did you miss me?
I did. Other than Apple and Pork Festival, I don't think I've ever seen you this frequently. So very good. Well, thank you for coming back and talking with us. Today we're going to be talking DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead. And, with the theme of America 250 this year, Joey, I know it's a busy summer at the Homestead. You're really ramping things up this year. And it starts with June and the quilt show. I know this is something you're very excited about. Let's dive into it.
Yes. Well, I will say it kicked off in April. So
it did. Okay.
Midway here, or approaching midway. There's actually an America 250 at the Homestead event, at least one event each month now to the end of the year.
Right.
Mm-hmm. June is one of our heavier ones. We actually have 3 things taking place at the Homestead for June. So the quilt show. Now that's an annual event, not a special event.
Right.
But we put a fun little twist into it this year. The ladies thought that in honor of America 250, that it would be nice to have a quilt show that features quilts that are all red, white, and or blue, or have patriotic themes, or like the Baltimore album style quilt, that type of thing. So it's the first time that that's been done. I think it'll be really neat. We have had some quilts come in already, and you might think, well, if it's limited to, red, white, and blue, and, patriotic symbolism and whatnot, how much variety can there be? Well, already I will tell you, it's amazing. Even, narrowing it down to those colors and themes and patterns and whatnot. Already we have just some beautiful quilts that have come in, and obviously no tour like, and it'll be fabulous.
Very nice.
It'll be fabulous.
Cool.
So
where'd you get quilts from for that this year, by the way?
Well, that's where I was just gonna go. We are putting out our annual call for quilts.
Okay.
So the quilt show each year is made up of quilts that are loaned throughout the month of June, from collectors, quilters, people that are holding on to their heirlooms. All of these people are kind enough to bring the quilts to the museum, let us borrow them and display them for the month so everyone can enjoy them. And so it's it's a community effort. And because of this, the quilt show is never the same twice. So, so the day that is designated for the quilt drop off for this year's quilt show is, it's actually tomorrow, May 16th. And so that's the check-in time from 9 to noon at the museum. However, if that's not convenient, you can stop by the museum anytime to drop off a quilt. We are open Tuesdays through Saturdays from 10 to 5, 1 to 5 on Sundays. But that last cutoff day to be able to drop off a quilt and be included in the quilt show, that day is Tuesday, May 26th.
Okay.
So please bring them in. And we take vintage quilts, new quilts, anything you have,
Mhm.
as long as it falls, kind of under that umbrella
Mhm.
of, the colors and the themes and the symbols and the patterns and whatnot. Like colonial theme or eagles, stars, stripes, think along those lines too. We are happy to have them.
All right, very good. So
Yeah.
so you're still then looking for people to submit, like you're
Yep.
not tapped out or
The
anything.
more the merrier,
more the
is
merrier.
the way we look at that.
All right.
And then the quilt show, it runs the entire month of June.
Mhm.
So it will kick off June 2nd.
All
with
right.
June 1st being a Monday, and we're closed on Monday. So it kicks off June 2nd and it runs through June 30th. And so the admission fee for that is $10 for adults. And then ages 16 to 18 is $5.
Mhm.
Ages 5 and under free. And museum members are also free admission as well. So when you visit the museum in June, we have some people that come just for the quilt show, not the tour narrative. And then we also have people that will come, for the tour narrative, but then they're also treated to the quilt show. So it's kind of a nice thing for people.
All right. So the quilt show, June 2 through the 30th, looking for those patriotic themed quilts. And I tell you what, I bet a lot of folks have one, and I bet there's a good story to a lot of those as well.
Yes, there was a lady yesterday from Bloomington that brought a big pile. They were so gorgeous. She
Yeah.
made all of them
Oh,
herself.
wow.
And I said, well, where do you display these? Or do you use them? Do you put them on your bed? She said, well, I have a big pile of quilts under my bed. Oh, so it's nice, that those will be out the entire month for people to enjoy.
Word, yeah. So come on out. That's a good. Especially with the patriotic theme this year. That'll be really neat.
Yeah.
I hope a lot of folks come out for you guys. So very good. All right. So the quilt show in June. What else is coming up in June, Joey?
Well, then the next thing that comes up will be a book signing that we're hosting in the Carriage Barn. Now that is a free event, and it will take place Sunday, June 7th at 1:30 p.m. We have learned that Sunday afternoon events work quite well for the museum. Not so many obligations and whatnot in everyone's world on Sunday afternoons. And so our Sunday afternoon events have been very well attended.
Mhm.
So the book is Images of America, DeWitt County. And the author her name is Maureen Holtz, and it features images from her book and the stories of the photographs in the book. And then there'll be a book signing taking place. The books will be available for purchase. And this is one of those Arcadia publisher books.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people are familiar with those.
Mhm.
They have the kind of sepia cover with the black title. And Maureen worked really hard on this book, and it just turned out to be a really nice thing.
Cool.
And it's nice that DeWitt County, finally has their book.
Mhm.
And she actually originally intended on the book just covering Clinton, but then branched out. And
Mhm.
so it's all of DeWitt County. So you'll see images and stories in there from for Clinton, but
Mhm.
then also Waynesville, Farmer City, Weldon Springs, Kinney, Hallsville. She covered, the entire county.
Okay.
And some of these pictures that she used are from private collections that, maybe people haven't even seen before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So a lot of the images did come from the museum's, photographic collection. But I know she also visited people in Wapella and worked with the library. So
Yeah.
really neat. So
Cool.
I think people will really enjoy this, to hear her tell the story of, what images she chose, why she chose them, the
Mhm.
story behind. And it's just nice to be able to invite an author, to the museum
Mhm.
who, their book runs right along the lines of what the museum's own mission statement is, to
Mhm.
preserve and promote
Yeah.
DeWitt County's history and heritage.
Yeah. Someone invested their time into that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Agree. Yeah, very
Yeah.
good. So the when and where on that one, Joey, is?
Again, that will be taking place at the C.H. Moore Homestead, DeWitt County Museum on Sunday, June 7th at 1:30 p.m. And again, this is another of our America 250 at the Homestead events.
So put that on the calendar. Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead, in studio with us today. It's a busy summer at the Homestead with America 250th and lots of things going on around that. Anything else to mention for the month of June, Joey?
Well, we also have a car show coming.
Okay, tell me about the car show.
So we have the quilt show for the ladies and we have the car show for the guys. So didn't want to leave anyone out. So this also is an America 250 at the Homestead event, and it's a classic car show that will be taking place on June 14th from noon to 3 p.m. And there is no entry fee. Anyone is welcome to participate. And of course, we also welcome spectators. No registration required, open to all. There will be a Best in Show trophy that will be awarded at the end of the event. And that is actually going to be sponsored by Spence's Super Shine. Boy, that
Spence's Super Shine. Yeah. Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah. So those are the 3 America 250 at the Homestead events that will be taking place in June.
Okay.
Stand by for July.
All right. Wow. All right. So put those on the calendar. Again, anything we didn't touch on for June, you want to put out there, Joey?
I don't believe so.
All right. Where do folks go for like a calendar of what's going on, a list of events? Where do they find all these things?
They can go to a couple different places. They can go to our website, and that is chmorehomestead.org. And there's so many events that not the entire year is listed there, but they can get, what the upcoming events are.
Okay.
And then they can also follow our Facebook page, and that would be the probably the most up-to-date place to get the details and whatnot. And they can find us on Facebook. It's C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum.
Okay.
And like I said, we have just a lot of things coming up, a lot of exciting things happening. And of course, this is made possible. I do want to mention, Seth, this is made possible through the ambition of the DeWitt County Museum Association Board. A lot of volunteers, who are putting in a lot of time into the planning and hosting and whatnot of these things, but also, all of the businesses and organizations and individuals in the community who actually contributed as sponsors. We had many people donate, $250 in honor of America 250 at the Homestead to help us be able to take on these, to take on so many events and, do it right.
Very good. Well, on that note, Joey, let's go ahead and break. Come back with some more. Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead, in studio with us today. More to come with Joey on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
This is Seth Lawrence, station manager for the Heart Media Group here in Clinton. We take pride in being Clinton and Central Illinois' local radio stations each and every day, 7 days a week. What does local news mean? Here's a sample.
Even if we say no, we're not interested, any landowner could come in and pay the fee to get a text amendment process started. So,
yeah, don't pick up injured animals or fawns that you think are abandoned by their mother. Just leave them alone.
I mean, we want to see Mr. Lincoln Square utilized, and that's one part of it. So we're starting now for next year as well.
You hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week. Follow WHOW on Facebook and Instagram to see the faces behind the voices and stay connected to your local community on WHOW and WEZC.
Spring into savings this May with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Savings with a new car? Yes, with our fuel savings model like the Chevy Trax with 40 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Trailblazer, and Chevrolet Equinox with 33 miles per gallon highway. And don't forget about our EV options, the Chevrolet Bolt and Equinox. Chevrolet, together let's drive. bombchevybuick.com, right from the start.
SIU Center for Family Medicine is here to help with back to school and sports physicals. Healthy kids learn better and play harder. Call 217-735-2317 today to schedule your appointment. That's 217-735-2317. SIU Medicine, forward for you.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum and C.H. Moore Homestead. Joey, I know that, of course, the Homestead has opened up for the season now. We've been open a little more than a month. How's the first month of the new season going and all those things?
Everything's been going very well.
Mm-hmm.
Usually April is pretty slow. I think that people just have other things going on, or maybe they're not completely aware that we're open in April. But April attendance was good,
Mm-hmm.
and May has maybe slowed down a little bit, but that always picks up quite a bit after Memorial Day. But yeah, we've had people come for the daily tours, but then also, we've welcomed quite a few people for these special events that we had for America 250.
Right.
In April, we had the event where Mr. Moore's Steinway piano was restored. And so we had a pianist in.
How did that go?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. So a lot of people attended that. We had a lot of really nice, comments and whatnot, had wine and cheese and whatnot. And then the gentleman who restored the piano, Craig Dietz, he actually played a tune it was a piece of sheet music that I had been stuffed away long before I got there, but I had found it one day and was curious. It was a piece of sheet music called The Great Desire, published in the early 1900s by a high school student from Clinton.
Really?
Yeah, and he went on to be a composer and had other music published. I mean, published as
wow, yeah,
available as sheet music nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
And so he brought that tune, to life for all of us. And I told a little bit about, the piece of sheet music and the history of it and that man's life,
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really nice. And then we had my friend Guy Fraker was here in May, and he brought in a crowd not as large as last time. We had icky weather. It was rainy and windy and
soggy
cold.
And
it was comfortable in the carriage barn, but I think it probably kept people away from feeling like, well, maybe I don't want to go out this afternoon. But still, it was a fantastic presentation.
Good.
That was on Abraham Lincoln and the Declaration of Independence. Very enlightening, very enlightening. And each of these programs so far has been, Seth, I will say, you might think that I'm biased, but honestly, high quality programs for people. And we're also making an effort to be sure that, the events that we've had already and the events that are coming up, they're so varied. So, there's something for everyone. We have maybe the wine and cheese thing was maybe a little more, pianist was maybe more a little sophisticated. But then, maybe the Fraker event was more intellectual and patriotic in its theme and whatnot. The quilt show, those are people that enjoyed the arts or the art of quilting or, antiques, things like that. The car show, of course, that's the guy is like the car show. And then what we have planned for July, that's definitely a family event.
Now, what do you have in July?
July is going to be an ice cream social, and I don't have all of the details yet, but we will have out on the lawn, the shaded lawn, we will have they're a banjo and fiddle duo called Peaches and Bacon. I discovered them, if you want to call it that, over at New Salem when my
Uh-huh.
husband and I were there for their candlelight tours, and heard them playing, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're fantastic.
Mhm.
They weren't even officially there for the event. They were just there playing, and
Oh,
everybody
wow.
gathered around. It was amazing. So tracked them down. So
Uh-huh.
they'll be performing. And then homemade ice cream for everyone, turned right there on the site. And horse-drawn carriage rides that afternoon.
Mhm.
So, and they may have some other things planned as well, but that's going to be a great family event.
Right, sure.
And so yeah, just something for all interests. And but that's what it's all about. The entire year we're supposed to be celebrating America 250.
Sure,
So we're celebrating our history and our heritage and our nation.
Mhm.
And us having these events allows for the community to come together
Mhm.
and everyone celebrate the spirit
Mhm.
of America
Sure.
together. That's what we want.
Anything else you're planning for? You may not have all the details ready, but anything else for folks to keep on their radar later this summer, August, September-ish?
Well, in August, I'm excited in August about that presentation. I was able, through the Illinois Humanities Council, I was able to secure a grant to bring a Rhodes Scholar speaker to the museum.
Wow.
And the presentation, it deals with an enslaved person. They call them freedom seekers now. A freedom seeker who was trying to escape his circumstances, and instead of going on the Underground Railroad that we've all heard of, he actually had a train ticket on the Illinois Central Railroad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And just hiding in plain sight.
Right. And so it's the story of, how that happened and his journey, up to Chicago, what happened once he got to Chicago. I guess there was someone was pursuing him this whole time. And I think you and I have talked before, when I bring these big history speakers in, I like to always be able to connect that to, how does that connect to us here in DeWitt County?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think, well, this is DeWitt County. This is so small and was so isolated. How can that big history, how does that connect to us? And I'm always able to find a connection. Like when we had the lady that talked about the Underground Railroad quilts, well, there was a lady here in Clinton who was working on the Underground Railroad. It says it right in her obit. And in this case, the really neat thing, how the connection runs here, is that this man was on the Illinois Central Railroad tracks. Well, that's about a block and a half away from the museum.
From the museum. Yep. It always comes back. Joey, we always appreciate you making time for us. One more time, how folks learn about all things DeWitt County Museum.
Sure. They can go to our website at chmorehomestead.org. Check us out on Facebook or give us a call anytime, 217-935-6066.
Joey Long, DeWitt County Museum, our guest. Network News on the way.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomas.